Long before Jonah ever boarded a ship, before the storm rose, before the great fish opened its mouth, God was already at work. The book of Jonah is one of the most unusual books in the Bible. It is not mainly about prophecy. It is not mainly about miracles. It is about the human heart. It is about what happens when God's mercy collides with human pride. Jonah lived in the land of Israel during a time when the nation was under constant threat from powerful empires. One of those empires was Assyria, and its capital was a massive city called Nineveh. Nineveh was infamous. It was known for cruelty, violence, and brutal warfare. The Assyrians destroyed entire cities, enslaved people, and ruled through fear. To an Israelite like Jonah, Nineveh was not just a foreign city. It was the enemy. Yet this is where God chose to send his prophet. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. Jonah 1:1-2. Jonah was a prophet. That meant his job was to speak God's words. But this command shocked him. God was not asking Jonah to warn Israel. God was not sending him to friendly people. God was sending him to the worst of the worst. Jonah knew what Nineveh was. He knew what Assyria had done. And the idea that God might forgive them made Jonah angry. So Jonah did something shocking. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. Jonah 1:3. Tarshish was at the far edge of the known world, the opposite direction from Nineveh. Jonah went down to the port of Joppa, found a ship going there, paid the fare and boarded it. He believed that distance could silence God. But no one runs from the God who made the sea. Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. Jonah 1:4. The waves crashed over the deck. The sailors shouted. The ship groaned as if it might split in two. These were professional sailors, hardened by storms. But this one terrified them. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God. Jonah 1:5. They threw cargo overboard, desperately trying to keep the ship afloat. But Jonah was asleep below deck. How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. The sailors cast lots to discover who was responsible for this disaster. The lot fell on Jonah. I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. The sailors were horrified. If Jonah's God made the sea, then this storm came from him. What should we do? Pick me up and throw me into the sea. They didn't want to, but the storm left them no choice. They prayed for mercy, then threw Jonah into the raging waves. Immediately the sea became calm. The sailors knew they had witnessed the power of the true God. Jonah was sinking into the deep. The water closed over his head. He was swallowed by darkness. But instead of death, God sent deliverance. Now the Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah 1:17. Inside the fish, Jonah was alive, trapped in darkness, surrounded by silence, cut off from the world. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah prayed. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. Jonah described being pulled down into the deep. He thought his life was over. He felt separated from God. But even there, God heard him. Yet you brought my life up from the pit, O Lord my God. Jonah repented. He praised God. He surrendered. Salvation comes from the Lord. And it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Jonah had been given a second chance. God spoke again. Go to Nineveh. This time Jonah obeyed. Nineveh was enormous, filled with people, soldiers, merchants and rulers. Jonah walked through the city declaring, 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown. And something unbelievable happened. The people believed. From the greatest to the least, they repented. Even the king humbled himself. Let everyone call urgently on God. God saw their hearts. He did not bring on them the destruction he had threatened. Jonah was furious. He became angry. Jonah knew God was merciful, and that is why he ran. He wanted justice, not grace. God taught Jonah a lesson through a plant. When it died, Jonah was angry. Should I not be concerned about Nineveh? God was showing Jonah that his mercy is greater than human hatred. Jonah teaches us that God's love reaches farther than we think. No one is too far gone. Not even Jonah. Not even Nineveh. And not even us.